about to go to this poker game right now, bust this poker game up, man. I got to get my money back, man. That's some bullshit, man. Here I am with a king high flush, and this fool got a boat with threes over, man. I'm trying to get back in this poker game, man. I can't go back to the store, man. Hey, somebody throw me $10, man, for my next 5 dinner trays, man. All right, Chris, so you choose the 5 trays that you want, and you throw me $10? All right, bet, man. Let's do it, man. Come on, Chris. That ain't even cool. I know we said 5 meals, but how you gonna wait till the special meal, the 4th of July meal? Ain't no way I'm trying to come up off these barbecue ribs and these hot dogs and these burgers. Ain't no way. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV in the house like motherfucking kitchen sinks. Happy 4th of July to everybody. I just want to put that out there. Enjoy your evening, your day, your weekend. Be safe. Do the right thing and stay out of the penitentiary. Speaking of the 4th of July, I was recollecting, man, thinking back. And it was an incident that happened right around the 4th of July. Many moons ago when I was locked up in the penitentiary. One of the cardinal sins that I always mention if you watch my channel, stay off the poker table. I understand that it's fun. I understand that it kills time. I understand that you can win items and you can eat well if you have a big day at the poker table. But for whatever reason, I don't necessarily want to say that it always ends bad, but there are times where it just doesn't end well, man. You see what I'm saying? Perfect example. Now, y'all rock with me, man. You know, I'm Mr. Self-proclaimed 30 minutes or better. Meaning that all my videos are going to be 30 minutes or better. I don't do the 15, 12-minute videos. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But if you're looking for a 12, 15, 16-minute video, perhaps I'm not the right channel for you. So, like I said, y'all just rock with me, man. If you're on your way to work, if you at work, you're on your way from work, you're trying to lay down and take a nap or go to sleep or whatever the case may be, just rock with me, man. You know what I mean? Situation, man, Young Jay. Young Jay was probably, I don't know, 24, 25 years old. It's a black dude, you know what I'm saying? He had the braids. He didn't have the locks, he had the braids. Darker complected type guy. Probably, I don't know, if I had to guess his height, I'd say he was probably about 5'11". And, you know, weighing in at about 180. You know, athletic dude. Played basketball. Loved to gamble on the, football and basketball, whatever. Parlay tickets in the penitentiary. That's another big thing that, people like to frequent, if you will. And he was just a cool, laid-back cat, man. He ain't bother nobody. He wasn't no punk. He wasn't no chump. Nothing like that. He was just cool. Loved to gamble. Loved that poker table, man. So they at the poker table one day. And, Jay, he had people on the outside that loved him. You know, they sent him money. Young Jay, they sent him money. He go to the commissary, probably spend, $40, $50, $60 a week or whatever. So he was far from broken, in prison or whatever. But again, as I mentioned, he loved that poker table, man. And some days he's up, some days he's down. Some days chicken, some days feathers, man. Unfortunately, when you're a gambler and you're not the house, most days it's going to be feathers, man. So, as I mentioned, he's at the poker table and he loses all his money. Well, he done went to the store, man, a couple times, and he don't want to continue to go to the store, man, because, heck, everything that he gets, he has to pay out. So the next time that he goes to commissary, which is the following week, he already owes it out. Well, real Kens, what's the store man? The store man in prison is somebody that, just like on the streets, like a loan shark. Now, I know that you all that have been to prison, been to jail, you understand this. But just understand there's a lot of people that watch the channel that don't know these things. And so you'll go to the store, man. Let's just say, I want to borrow a bag of chips. Okay, well, you owe me 2 back. Well, I want to get 2 bags of chips. Okay, you owe me 3 back. Well, I want to get 3 bags of chips. Well, you owe me 5 back. You see what I'm saying? And the more you get, the more that you owe back. I want 5 bags of chips. Okay, you owe me 8 back. Sometimes 10, just depends on who you are, who the store man is. Because a lot of times the store man, he'll hike the prices up on the weekends. Because, weekends, man, people get real, real hungry. You see what I'm saying? So That's basically what the store man does. Well, he had already borrowed as much as he could borrow. He could borrow more, but young Jay, he knew that, okay, this is the amount that I can cover. And I got to save a little bit because, I got to get my hygienes. I got to be able to get the things that I like, my coffee, and, things of that nature. So he didn't want to go back to the store, man. So he says, hey, anybody, I got $10, man. Or for $10, y'all can have my next 5 dinner trays. So you see a couple people kind of looking around, thinking about it or what have you. So Chris is at the table. Chris is another young dude. He's probably a little bit older, maybe 26, 27. Another black dude, lighter complected. He also had the braids. I would say Chris was probably about 6'1". He wasn't 5'11". He was probably about 6'1", and he was well respected. He wasn't really quiet, but he wasn't loud and obnoxious. But he had a whole lot of people that would just follow, run behind him or what have you. Y'all rock with me. And so he was one of them individuals that he spent the max at the store every week. You can spend $125. He's spending $125 every week. He's walking back. He got the big bag, or he got a couple people with him. They carrying his bag or whatever. So, he's just a well-respected young dude on the yard, man. He had put in that work on the street. So, that follows you to the penitentiary. Anything for you youngsters out there, and just anybody just in general, anything you do on the street is going to follow you to the penitentiary. Good or bad. So if you're out there robbing people, you're out there getting over on people, conniving, shooting people, whatever, guess what? Penitentiary, man. You know what I mean? You was out there, you was getting money, and you was that guy on the streets or whatever, they're going to love you in the penitentiary. I know it sounds, kind of silly to be honest, but hey, it's a different world inside of there. And so, like I said, he puts that out there, the next 5 dinner trays or what have you. So Chris just really trying to put him back in the game. He's like, look, man, I do it. I give you $10 to get back in the game, but I want to choose the 5 trays. I'll pick whichever 5 trays that I want from you. So, they go back and forth negotiating or whatever, and they agree to do so. Now, Chris, the reason that he did that, even though he doesn't really eat in the chow hall, he might get a tray to one of his partners or something like that. And then there are certain days dudes go to the chow hall, man. Even if they are penitentiary rich or whatever. Some days you might not feel like cooking. And then some days you got pretty decent meals. Like you might have a hamburger day, chicken patty day, Polish sausages. What else do they have? Tacos, taco salads, pizza. So on those particular days, you will see people that go to that typically don't go to the chow hall. You see them in the chow hall. So everything's everything. The poker game, continues or what have you. The game never really stops. It was just that young Jay was trying to get back in the game, but the game was ongoing. Young Jay gets back in the game, and I believe that he wins some of his money back. He don't win it all back, but he wins some of his money back. Now, instead of him going to Chris saying, hey, bro, here's your $10 plus a couple extra dollars for, putting me back in the game. Can we do it and I keep my trays? He didn't do that. He's thinking, as a gambler would think, man, I'm going to keep this so the next poker game, I'll have something to get back, into the game. Because when my commissary comes next week, heck, I owe pretty much all of that out to the store man. So I'm going to keep this and try to hustle all week long and see what I can do. So that was his train of thought at that particular moment. So as the time goes on, Chris is picking the different trays that he wants. And 4 trays have been picked so far. Now, this is a couple months. Now, the significance of this video, of me doing this actual video today, is that on the 4th of July, they typically do something nice for you in prison. Now, it's not just the 4th of July. It's major holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving. But on the 4th of July, what they would do is they would cook out for you. Now, they stopped that. But at this particular time, years ago, they'd have the biggest cookout. I'm talking about, man, anything you eat. The inmates would cook the food. You got ribs. You got burgers. You got hot dogs. You got potato salad, macaroni, green beans, any and everything all type of desserts, sodas, anything that you can possibly imagine that you would eat at a cookout on the streets. They would have it for you in prison. I've even seen steak sometimes. Kind of like a token of appreciation for the inmates, you know, because the inmates pretty much run the yard. You know, when I say run the yard, meaning laundry, kitchen, landscaping, just anything that inmates run in the backhoe. Inmates are the electricians, the carpenters, like anything that you can imagine, the inmates do at a very, very, very damn near free price, reduced price, however you want to put it. Now, when I say reduced price, meaning for somebody else from the streets to come in and run a backhoe, they're going to want $35, $40 an hour, probably more. Well, you get an inmate to do the backhoe, you put him on what's called special pay, which is $2 an hour, and he does everything that anybody else could come in and do, but not for the $40 an hour. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, you have these sort of things going on. So this particular time in prison, man, it's like 15 years ago, they were still kind of showing appreciation for the inmates, as I've already mentioned. Chris decides, and he already knew in his mind that 4th of July is coming. It's that special meal. That's what they call a special meal. Yo, young Jay, I'm going to use my 5th meal, man, on this 4th of July. This 4th of July meal. Damn, bro. You going to do me like that? Do you like what, man? I'm saying, dog, it's a special meal, man. I'm trying to eat, too. They got the ice cream, the cake, you know, I want to eat, too. I feel you, though, bro. But you said 5 meals, and we negotiated, and we said, okay, any meals. But, dog, this was like 2.5, 3 months ago, man. I done already gave you 4, bro. You can't let me, you know, eat my 4th of July meal, and then I give you my meal tomorrow, the next good meal that we have. Nah, my dude, because this ain't what we talked about. This is not what we negotiated. You said 5 meals. This is the 5th meal. I need you to run that. I need that. Now, you got to keep in mind, Chris got a click with him. He got a car. Now, Jay run with some dudes too, but they not really about that action, man. Chris's dudes, man, they gonna ride for him, man. Plus, it's so many more. Chris probably got, man, I don't even know, man. Chris was like, you see him on the bleachers. He's sitting back in the gym on the bleachers because he hooped all the time. So let's just say he came off the court or whatever, and he's chilling until the next game, or, you know, the next game starts, what have you. He gonna have 7, 8 dudes sitting around him at all times. When he's walking on the yard, 7, 8 dudes walking, you know, around him. It was like he was lightweight a celebrity up in that joint. Now, it's not to the point of where, you know how you see on TV to where you go in a dude's cell and he got the beads hanging up and he's sitting back in the glasses and he got a couple goons around him and he got the phone and the typewriter or the computer or whatever. It wasn't, you know, in the the carpet, you know what I'm saying, the big plush carpet rug. It wasn't nothing like that. But at the same time, man, dudes just loved to be around him. But he was not a obnoxious type dude. Like I said, he was laid back. I chopped it up with him a couple times. Real laid back dude, man. He was doing 8.5 years. Well, actually, he was doing 10 years at 85%. So we had to do 8.5 years before he got out. And so, you know, young Jay is not happy about this at all, man. It's 4th of July. You can smell the barbecue cooking. And you mean to tell me that I got to give up over a poker game that happened nearly 3 months ago? And you trying to take my meal? Nah, it ain't happening. I'm sorry. That's not happening. And like I said, young Jay, he had people around him. He probably had, you know, 3, 4 dudes, 5 dudes he hung around with. But, you know, ain't nobody really no punks or nothing like that in the penitentiary. But you got some people that's just, you know, such as myself, man. I wasn't about that action in the penitentiary. Did I get in fights? Absolutely, man. Did I win them all? Absolutely not. Did I lose them all? No, I did not lose them all. But the thing about it is this. When I say you got dudes that, such as myself, that wasn't about that action, then I've been in places, don't get me wrong, to where I was getting my money, I was doing wrong, I was fooling with the guards, I was doing all type of things that I shouldn't have been doing. But as I got older and as I got wiser, it was like, man, it's about going home, not extending my stay, not putting myself in a situation where instead of me going home, I'm adding time onto my sentence, because that happens so often. You know, Fleece Johnson told a story, and I just watched Fleece yesterday, Hustler Spirit 502, Fleece Johnson featuring Big Lee. Y'all go check that out if you're not familiar. And I was watching his video yesterday that he uploaded, and he was talking about how in penitentiary, you got guys that they want you to stay along with them. They got a life sentence. They got 40, 50 years at 85%, meaning they got to do 85% of their time before they even have a chance of going home. So if they choose you and they decide that, you know what, I want him, they're going to run up on you every single day. Every day they trying to start stuff with you. To where you get to the point to where it's like, come on, man, let's go on and get it in. And y'all fight and y'all throw them things or whatever. Both of y'all go to the hole. You thinking that it's over with, but it's not over with. Because he wants you to stay along with him. He don't want you to go home. You know, he's trying to get them cheeks. These are not my words. These are Fleece's words. This is what the video was about that Fleece made yesterday. He wants them cheeks. You like, bro, I don't swing that way, man. That ain't happening, man. You gonna have to kill me. All right. If that's what it takes. If that's what it takes. But hopefully you willing to stand on top of your words, man. Because if that's what it takes, that's what I'm willing to do. I ain't never going home. So the dude, you know, Fleece was talking about, he wasn't no soft type dude as far as running to check in, you know, go to the hole or whatever. He wanted to, well, he was already in the hole from fighting, but when I say go to the hole, he wasn't trying to check in and go to like PC. That's basically what I meant. So he stayed out on the yard, man. You see what I'm saying? And they would keep going back and forth to the hole, back and forth to the hole. Till finally dude tells him, hey, man, either we not going to keep fighting. You going to give me this, or I'm going to kill you, or you going to kill or unalive me. One of the two is going to happen, but it's going to happen. Dude finally is like, here, man, come on, man. I ain't got time to keep going through this. And next thing you know, he was the dude's boyfriend. Now, I don't know if it exactly happened like that, but I'll tell you what, Fleece, everything that he's ever said seems to be true. It's documented. Now, I don't know what type of guy would just be like, no real dude, no real man is going to be like, all right, come on, man. I'm going to just do this one time and then we done. Are you crazy? Are you really, really crazy? So, yeah, you probably will have to kill me. I'm going to kill you, one of the two, but it's going down. But it won't be my pants that go down. A little humor for the, you know, for the people. So the point of me bringing that into the story is that people don't let things slide in the penitentiary, man. People they'll just push you and push you and push you and push you. And that's what ultimately happened in this story with young Jay and Chris. Young Jay went on to get his meal. He didn't give that meal up as he should have. He really should have, because they made the agreement. Chris was a strategic type dude. He sit back. Now, we're going to let him live for a little bit. Now, when I say let him live, I don't mean literally, but we're going to let him, you know, we're going to let him keep doing his thing or whatever. But we're going to get him. A couple good meals come by or whatever. Chris don't even say nothing to Jay about it. Yo, Chris, man, we got hot dogs on tomorrow, man. We got chicken patties on tomorrow, man. You want to get that? Nah, bro, I'm cool. Don't even worry about it, man. I'm cool. Enjoy. A little bit more time went on. As I mentioned, young Jay liked to play that basketball. Well, so did Chris. Young Jay's coming off the basketball court one day. Penitentiary is all type of blind spots, man. People in the comments, and, oh, no, there's no way that could happen or whatever. Man, there's blind spots in the penitentiary everywhere, especially 15 years ago. Technology wasn't what it is now, 15 years ago, obviously. Young Jay's walking out of the gym. So when he's walking out of the gym, they have some bleachers. You pull the bleachers back away from the wall to where you can actually go sit on the bleachers. Well, that was kind of like a blind spot back there. And then you had like the people that was doing the most. You know what I mean? They would go behind the bleachers and would get it in. A couple of Chris's goons was waiting on him. He turned that corner. They grabbed him, snatched him behind the bleachers, took a look at him. Bing, bop, bop, bing, boom, 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 You know, they took a look at him, man. You know, Batman. You know what I mean? Batman and Robin. You know, Batman and Robin, they get in a fight and you hear all the sound effects from the punches, and that's what went on. And so they roughed him up pretty bad, man. They roughed him up pretty bad. Now, when they did this, like a true boss, Chris was just sitting back. He wasn't nowhere near it. He was nowhere around it. He don't know what happened. He don't know why it happened. Jay's messed around for a few days, what have you. He stays in. Because, like, a lot of times when you get beat up or you get in a fight and you get scarred up or whatever, you don't want the COs to really see you because it's like, what happened to your eye? What happened to your nose? What happened to your mouth? I fell. You fell, huh? Yeah, I fell, man. I was on the basketball court, or I fell in the shower, whatever. So you don't say nothing. But you really, really try to avoid the COs so that you're not even questioned. Another couple weeks goes past. Young Jay's coming from the commissary. He got his bag with him. He probably got, I don't know, $40, $50, $60 worth of items in his bag. He gets to his little area. He didn't have cells at this. Some people were in cells, but most people were in the open dorms where you have cubicles, 2-man cubes. You got 2 people in each cube. 3 of them running his cube. Give me this, man. Take his bag. Young Jay wasn't no punk. He trying to fight, but it's 3 of them in a little bitty closed-in area. They beat him up again. Boom, boom, bop, bop, bing, bing, boom. They beat him up again. You know, they banky pound him. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Banky Pound just as well. So they whoop him. Now, I gotta excuse the wind, man. It's I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a tornado coming through, but guess what, man? The show must go on. So like I said, they beat him up. They take his stuff. He's really not happy about this whatsoever. Once again, Chris is nowhere to be found. Young Jay's anything but stupid. He knows what this is about. All of a sudden, he got these dudes that he sees with Chris all the time. He knows Chris is sending them. Young Jay, he's like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. So what he does is he goes down to the property room. And when he goes to the property room, he's trying to get a piece of metal. He's gonna get him a knife made. Well, property room, they don't really have anything, so they send him to the tool room. He goes to the tool room, he purchases a nice piece of metal. And he tells him he needs it as sharp as he can possibly get it. So he gets that metal, he goes back, he's sharpening every day. He's just trying to get it sharp. He don't know when these dudes are gonna strike again. But he knows that it's war now. Excuse me. It's war. It's on. He gets some tape, makes his handle, makes him a nice handle to where he can actually grip it. And they make him like a little string to where they tie it on to the actual knife to where he can wrap it around his wrist like this. So it'll be close to him. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to hold the camera because the wind is blowing profusely out here. So he's ready. They come, running up in my cell. I got something for him. And think about a shank or a knife in prison, man. You can't just be walking around with no shank on you at all times. You can get away with it sometimes, but they like to shake you down on the yard. So you may be walking the yard. Hey, you, come here. Put your hands up. Turn around. And they pat you down. Oh, what do we have here? Now you get caught with a knife, potentially get charged, an outside charge, and you're going to get forever and a day in the hole. Now, who wants that? But at the same time, who wants somebody continuously just taking? You got 3-4 dudes running up on you, man. He ain't number 5'11", as I mentioned, 180 pounds. You got 3-4 dudes running in on you. I ain't going to protective custody. I'm gonna handle this on my own. So he gets the knife, and he keeps it. He keeps it on him, or close by, rather. So he might not necessarily have it on him, but he gonna have it somewhere near him. Next time they run up on me, next time they run up in my area, my space, somebody's getting dealt with. Another couple weeks, as I mentioned, goes past. They run up on him again. When they run up on him again, he don't have as I mentioned, you can't just walk around with a knife on you. They run up on him again. They catch him in the gym. Because he didn't stop doing his regular routine. He go to the gym, he play poker, everything. They beat him up again. This time he was able to kind of scave him off because he grabbed like a weight or something like that was in the area. So, they got a couple punches off on him, but, he grabbed that plate. I mean, he grabbed that bar or whatever, like the little small bars that you do your curls with or whatever. He grabbed the bar and he was like, yeah, what's up? And obviously they didn't want none of that drama or whatever, so they ran off. Remember how Andy did him or how Andy tried to do him in what's the movie Shawshank Redemption and the what do you call them? Whatever name of a group was or gang was, they ran up on Andy and he was trying to fight them off, man, but it was just too many of them. Well, that's what he did. He was able to fight them off, but he knew ultimately it was gonna hit the fan. Hell, it had already hit the fan, but he knew ultimately it was really, really gonna hit the fan because they weren't going away. Every time you see Chris just kind of smirk at him like, my man. Never said anything to him. Chris never said a word to him. He knows, and when I say he, I'm speaking of young Jay. I got to cut the head of the snake off, man, because this is not going to stop. Okay. Remember I said there were no sales. Some people had sales, but the majority of people were in the open dorms. Chris was in an open dorm just as well. Young Jay's a dorm janitor. He's walking through the dorm one day. He peeks in the window. He sees Chris preparing to use the bathroom. Now, when I say preparing to use the bathroom, because it's preparation, unless you're just a nasty type of individual. You know what I mean? And let me explain to you. Y'all rock with me, man. You wanted 30 minutes or better? I'm giving you 30 minutes or better. As he's looking in the window, he sees Chris preparing, meaning that he has his shower shoes. A lot of dudes, they set the shower shoes on top of the toilet. So instead of sitting directly on the toilet, you're sitting on the shower shoes. You got to sit down and handle your business. Use the restroom. Respectfully. So he sees him spraying off the toilet. He's wiping the toilet down and, okay. He looking around. Everybody else is at wreck. Everybody else is outside. He don't see none of his goons around him or none of that. Oh, okay. If I don't get him here, I'll probably never have an opportunity to get him. As I mentioned, young Jay is the dorm janitor. He got access to any and everything that he needs to have access to. Now, he don't have his blade. He ain't got his you know what I mean, that blade on him. You know how Dante from the Dante Show Network carries that thing on him? He don't got that blade on. Shout out to Dante. He don't got that blade on him. So he's thinking, should I go get it? But that's way out on the yard. By the time I do that, he'll be done. I got to strike, and I got to strike now. So he sits there. He's peeping the scenery. Now, in the penitentiary, man, the bathrooms is like, you might have 4 or 5, I say about 5 toilets. They all next to each other. So you probably, okay, you sitting here, 3 feet next to you, you have a toilet. And some places, they'll have like a wall that's hung on the wall that's dividing you off, but there's nothing in the front covering you up. So COs walk through, women, COs, men, COs, they walk through, see you on the toilet. Sometimes they talk to you, hey, inmate Jones, did you do this or did you do that? And it's like, you just get used to it. In the shower's open. 9, 10 people can get in the shower at once. COs walk through, see you in the shower. That's just what it is in the penitentiary. Young Jay, he's thinking about them times them dudes jumped on him. Y'all done took my commissary. You done try to play me for a punk. Instead of just respecting the fact that I didn't just cave in and go to PC. I stayed out here. And you want to try to play me for soft? You want to try to play me for a punk? I got something for you. So he's going through or whatever. He comes in the dorm that Chris is in. Now, they're in the same dorm, but they're in different areas, different bays. So when I say bay, you might have 50 dudes in A bay, 50 dudes in B bay, 50 dudes in C bay, but it's all one dorm. You see what I'm saying? It may be dorm 1 with 4 or 5 different bays. He's going through. He goes and get y'all know the yellow mop bucket. He has one of those, and it has like the handles on, each side. So he has the spray bottles, the sponges, the rags that he's gonna use to clean with. He got the brooms, the dustpan. He has everything, and everything is attached. He's in the dorm, but young Chris doesn't see him in the dorm because he hasn't made his way back to the bathroom yet. As I mentioned, the bathroom, 4 or 5 toilets, 4 or 5 sinks. You got a big shower area. It's not that big, but it holds 9, 10, 11 people in the shower. And dudes just hang out sometimes in the bathroom, man. You might be sitting there, taking a dump, and dudes is in the bathroom rapping or smoking or just kicking it or whatever. Just how it is in the joint, man. I'm going to try my best to do this because the wind is blowing and it's raining. But we're going to get through this video. So y'all be patient and y'all just rock with me. Finally got an opportunity to get my get back. So he comes in. At this point, Chris is sitting on the toilet now. Sitting on the toilet. All the way just openly vulnerable. He's pushing his little, his little mop bucket or whatever. And at this point, Chris sees him. He has no choice but to see him once he walks in the bathroom. But initially, Chris didn't see him because Chris was he had his headphones on, so he had his head down or whatever while he's sitting on the toilet or whatever. So he doesn't even see young Jay initially. Young Jay grabs the mop wringer. Y'all know what a mop wringer is? It's a mop wringer. This is a motherfucking mop wringer, man. Young Jay grabs that mop wringer off of the bucket that he was pushing. And Chris looks up and he sees him. When he sees him, young Jay, boom, smashes him. All up in here, splits him the first time. Huh? You thought I was a punk? Boom, he split. I'm talking about, man, he's going to war. He's going to war on this young man. And he's talking to him every time you bitch ass mother. I mean, he's just smashing him. He's sitting on the toilet, man, totally vulnerable. Now, he's trying to protect himself the best way he can, but he's dazed now, and he don't know what's going on. He's trying to protect himself. He done fell off the toilet. He's laying on the ground. Jay's just smashing him. He smashed him all the way out. I'm talking about beat him. Man, beat the brakes, the brizaches. He didn't beat the brakes off of him. He beat the brizaches off of Chris. So now, he ain't forgot about the other dudes that done ran up on him. Shit, might as well try to get them too. Only problem is everybody's out to wreck. So he's walking around the dorm. Now, some people say that he slick checked in. And basically what that means is when he walked out of that bathroom, he knew that he would be on camera with this mop wringer. He got blood all on him or whatever. That was a cry for the police to come in. Some people say he slick checked in. I don't think that. If he wanted to check in, he would have been checked in. He could have unalived this dude. This dude, Chris, man, he was messed around, man. Just think about if you in the confines of your home or your own privacy and somebody just comes up and you're not even expecting, your head's down like this, you bobbing to the music or whatever, and you look up and you see this dude that you done had beef with, that you done had problems with, and he got this mop ring in his hand, you don't got no time to do nothing. He's that close to you. Like I said, he beat the brakes off of him, man. The police end up seeing him on the camera. They come in, put the weapon down. You know, a correctional officer, they really want to be police officers. Now, I'm not talking about all correctional officers. Some correctional officers, they just there to get their money. They cool. They don't bother you. Or, you know, they play by the rules. They don't bother me. I don't bother y'all, man. Put the weapon down. Put the weapon down. Like he got a AR or something. So he puts the weapon down. They, you know, turn him around. Turn around. Rough him up or whatever. Hands behind his back. They take him on to the hole or whatever. They go in. Dude is messed around, man. I'm talking about medical comes in. He got flown out of that joint, man. Yeah, airlifted, helicopter. Get him to the closest hospital. Infirmary's not gonna work. And, you know, he did what he had to do, man. You see what I'm saying? Now, I never seen young Jay again after that. I would imagine that they hit him with an outside charge. And I would imagine that he did a lot of time in the hole. I never seen him again after that. They're not going to put him back on the same prison yard with this individual, Chris. Chris, once he healed up, you know, he went to the hospital, stayed for a little bit. He came back. Yeah, he was busted up, but he was all right. He came back. You know, he still had the same clique, the same crew, whatever. And it was just one of those things to where I'm trying to get to the moral of the story, but I really don't know what the moral of the story is, because when it's all said and done, I believe Chris was in the wrong. You see, Chris had agreed to 5 meals of, I'm sorry, let's rewind. Yeah, Son Campbell done stole my rewind, man. So when y'all watch his show, understand that he stole my rewind. But just thought I'd throw that out there. Young Jay was in the wrong, I believe, because he agreed to sell Chris these meals, 5 meals of his choice. Just so happens that Chris knew that the 4th of July special meal was coming up, and it was just like, nah, I'm going to hold off. Then when 4th of July came along, and ain't them burgers and them ribs, and hey, I need that, run that. Now, hold on, brother. Hold on what? You said 5 meals. This is the 5th meal. So when it's all said and done, it seems as though young Jay didn't hold up his end of the bargain, maybe. So young Chris, man, he was relentless. That's how I correlated the Fleece Johnson story along with my story about the dude that was the booty bandit, and he was just trying, dude, and finally dude was like, all right, man, come on. Nah, young Jay wasn't going for that, though. Now, even though this wasn't nothing sexual, he was sending his goons, and they was, you know, roughing him up or whatever. But they were relentless, and it wasn't going to stop. It wasn't going to stop. It was going to just keep going until somebody checked in or they just gave in. Well, in Jay's situation, I don't know how he could have possibly given in. Nor was he trying to give in. So I would say that Jay was probably the one that was wrong. But at the same time, Chris, for him to be a street dude, for him to be, you can't get caught slipping like that, man. If you see dude it didn't check into check into PC, protective custody, you got to know, you got to stay ahead of the curve. Pause, double pause, triple pause. You've got to be able to know and in a light, or in a sense rather, foresee the future. Dude got to be, you know, he's going to come back in some way, some form, some fashion. I just don't know when. So I have to be ready at all times. In this particular day, like I said, he's sitting on the toilet. He's bopping to his music or whatever. He got his headphones on, the earbuds in. You look up. Dude standing there. Like Jason, somebody standing there, man. You know what I mean? That's just what it was. Beat him to death, man. Could have unalived him, man. These are the type of things that happen every day, all day in the penitentiary. Maybe not the same penitentiary, but throughout the penitentiaries in the United States, these things happen on a regular. So when people say, oh, well, I heard such and such tell his story. Or I heard this prison YouTuber tell his story. So what? It's not the exact same story. It could be situations were similar. But the wheel is never reinvented. The same things happen, just different location, different inmates, different places. You're going to hear a lot of similar stories. That's just what it is, man. Young Jay wasn't playing no games. I like to run across Young Jay and ask him what ultimately happened with that. Young Jay handled his business, man. So yeah, he probably ended up going to the hole for 6 months. Probably got prosecuted on the outside for assault, a deadly weapon, or assault, you know. But oftentimes in the penitentiary, your lawyers is able to, hey, man, he was in there. These guys had beat him up. It was coming for him. He didn't know what to do. So, no, the charges are not going to get totally dismissed. But, you know, they'll get broken all the way down. He might have got a couple years out of it, 2-3 years extra, maybe 5. But see, in the state of Kentucky, you don't do, unless it's like extremely violent, you only do 20% of your time before you have an opportunity to go up for parole. You get 10-year sentence, you do 2 years. 20-year sentence, you do 4 years. 30-year sentence, you do 6 years. That don't mean you're gonna make parole, but it just gives you an opportunity to go home. And I guess at that particular moment in time, young Jay had enough. I don't blame him. I probably would have did the same thing. You see what I'm saying? I probably would have just honored my agreement and gave him the meal. But if it came down to it to where somebody was just running up on me at all times, 3-4 dudes, and I can't whoop 3-4 dudes, and they trying to take my stuff, man, somebody got to get the business, man. Somebody got to get the business, man. And I'm a guy that stayed totally out of the way, man. But hey, it is what it is, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? Amongst the first to receive. You know how on wrestling, dudes walk around. Y'all remember Hacksaw Jim Duggan? Oh, he walk around with the little 2x4 or whatever, and dudes got their little weapons. Mr. Fuji had the little stick that he, you know what I'm saying, walked around with. This would be my weapon of choice if I was in wrestling, man. The mock ringer. Real Kens TV, man. Salute.